Hi, my name is Aiden Matthews. I am 21 years old, and I have always kind of wanted to be some sort of figure of positivity, and I've tried to make a first video for many years, and I have made videos and then been inconsistent and never posted. But recently in my life, I have found something that I would like to talk about, um, and kind of make this a basis of a start, even if it's only one video. I just want to get something out there. I want to talk about purpose. It's the reason why I'm posting this, and it's the reason why I want to be what I want to be. Um, so I'm an actor. I currently live in, I probably shouldn't say where I live, but it's fine. Anyways, I currently live in Sandusky, and I work as a performer and a swing at my job. I'll say that for now. And I am trying to go back to college. I'm moving back home right after this contract ends on the 4th to just kind of work towards my future. And my future consists of getting my musical theater degree as well as getting a dance degree. I want to major in both musical theater and dance, and then get my teaching degree and ultimately become a professor and settle down there. Purpose. Words have purpose. I need to stay on a track. Whenever I was graduating high school, I joined theater very late. I joined it whenever I was in my sophomore year, and it gave me kind of a sense of purpose. A lot of my life, I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do with myself. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I used to want to be a PI and do that really like cool retro noir solving cases for local families and not getting anything for it and not asking for anything. Real cool, real cool, real slick. And then I recorded The Sound of Music for my high school's AV team and watched somebody who, I will not say their name, but somebody who impacted my life forever perform as Maria in this show, and it made me want to perform. And it was the sole reason why I wanted to perform. And then I started doing, I had the opportunity to do children's theater my senior year, and I found a love for that. And then I met my professor in my first year of college. I met two professors, actually. I say professor, but I'm about to talk about two people. But I met two incredible people who have given me so much and have only told me to pay it forward and have asked for nothing. And I used to feel so indebted to them. And part of me still does, but there was purpose in why they helped me. And there's purpose in why I should help others. And that's kind of where I'm going with this, to kind of loop it back. They made me want to be a teacher. They showed me how important and integral that role is in some people's lives. And albeit my childhood wasn't very typical, normal, and unfortunately it had a lot going on, and so I was on a very obscure path. And although I never resulted in anything bad, like, to think where my life could have gone if I didn't have those figures I would be a whole completely different person. And so I have since then built my image on being positive, and not just positive, but on giving and being caring and being supportive. And my whole message is that if I can tell all of my stories and all of my horrible, terrible experiences, and then the good and bad things that I've done, then maybe people can speak up and can feel seen, and in turn snowball and affect into their life. And maybe it'll just have them smile and they'll feel comfort for that day. I don't really care what the effect is if it reaches somebody. That's like the whole point, and that's what's given me purpose in my life. So I am attempting. It's more so for me, to be honest with you. But I am attempting to try to post it. Currently, I am trying to write a memoir of some sorts. It's not going very well. It's not going bad, but it's not going well. I'm kind of like in a limbo state of getting to it, and like I write a whole bunch of stuff. I type it all on my computer, and then I'm like, okay, well, how can I make this a book? How do I book this? And I can't figure out a way to tell a story with it. So I think that by starting here, it'll help my book. And in turn, if I start here, it'll help with teaching later down my life. I'm trying to use this as a good thing. But additionally, maybe, hopefully, it can reach some people as the journey goes on. And if nobody ever sees it, then as time goes on, I'm going to get better at talking regardless. But yeah, and with the idea of this video being about purpose, I want to just not keep you for too long. We're closing in on about 10 minutes. I'm about 6.5 minutes in. But purpose, the word, is meaning. It means a sense of being, a reason. Everything has to have a purpose behind it, a reason, a motive. And as people, we believe that we are put on this earth for a purpose. With that, sometimes we experience and go through things that feel like we have had our purpose and our sense of purpose taken away, or it feels like we have no purpose, and that can be challenging to go through. I've gone through that many times in my life. In fact, I'm just now on the upswing, coming right back out of it. But each time that we may falter in our sense or even lose our sense of purpose, we regain it tenfolds, and we are energized and ready to just push forward. And what's helped me is kind of seeing and always imagining, even if it's unachievable, imagining the future ahead of me. Right now, I have my plan to go back to school. I have paid off thousands of dollars to the previous college that I was at before I moved to take this contract in Sandusky. And whenever I move back to home, I am going to be working my 2 jobs, and then I will be getting my first apartment by myself or with my friends, however it goes, and then hopefully by paying completely off at school with the plan that I've marked down and written, I will start my school year with $20,000 in my savings. After all bills are paid, I should make about close to $36,000 by working these 2 jobs, 40 hours a week. Honestly, I've scaled it down a little bit to 30 hours a week, or to 35, just to have an extra day off. I know, really nice. But by making that plan, I have a purpose, reignited again. And I think that we can find ourselves in moments where it's hard to kind of see that purpose and to kind of see that line and find our line. And I find a lot of my stuff through my performance. It's also what gives me a lot of my purpose. When I'm not performing, sometimes I feel like my sense of purpose is gone. Or whenever I am performing, I can be so critical of what I'm doing and so harsh that I feel like my work isn't quality, that I'm killing my sense of purpose. Earlier this year, I had the glorious opportunity to play Jordan in the play A Significant Other. If you know what this is, that's great. If you don't, let me give you a rundown. It's a play that is centered around Jordan, this one character, and all the friends that he has who are all finding love and getting married and moving on basically without him. And that's kind of the play. And I, for most of the run, was just miserable because I was so critical about my work, and I felt so lost and so gone with what I was doing with my life and all of that. And then my art, I put so much pressure on myself that why I perform was just gone. I wasn't having fun. That's the whole point, is to have fun. And when you're not having fun, it's the point to give that quality work. And I went on that second route. When you're not having fun, it's to give that quality work. But I wasn't even happy with what I was doing. And that's not a healthy way to think about it. And so I lost my sense of purpose. And then I left that school, and funnily enough, I'm working the probably easiest thing in my entire life, which has like no structure and no, like, I don't have to give so much through it, but there is so much that I'm learning right now. And it's reignited my purpose, and it helped me find my line again. And so all of that to say, I guess, is that, like, through going through those ups and downs, I was able to find my line again. And I think that when it comes to thinking about our sense of purpose and having no purpose and having no meaning and saying that we feel like we have no meaning, we box ourselves into these tiny little boxes about that big, and we think about all of the months maybe or weeks that we just experienced, and then we generalize it into the years that we've had because we can't think of all the good that we've done in that one moment. And if I hadn't thought about all of the good that I had done outside of that I was going to do outside of that, then I would have been lost. I don't know if I would have continued performing, that is, pause. But I don't know if I would have continued performing. I think I might have just thrown in the towel and just become a history teacher. But I was able to reignite my sense of purpose by taking a chance on myself and by doing something that, you know, is not going to give me some performance of the lifetime, but is currently going to help me here. And that's really where it matters. No matter where you are in your life, if your sense of self is still there, then you're going to be fine. And this is something that I'm learning. And, you know, there could be things that I'd say right now that in the future I have to go back and correct because I'm like, well, actually, that's wrong. But right now, it's how I feel. And it's important to acknowledge that. That's all that I have. I don't want to keep rambling because I'm a rambler. But I'll probably post another thing whenever I have something that I'm dying to talk about. Thank you for watching this. I do appreciate you taking the time. I hope that this can mean something and that it can strike the right kind of chord. And if it doesn't and you just enjoyed it, then thank you. And if you didn't, well, I hope that you have a great day anyways. I am going to watch some awesome TV shows and drink my beautiful cup of water and kick my day off. Thank you all so much, and I will see you whenever.